I remember one interview I had, I didn't know how to count my pounds and pennies. If you don't know, you ask someone who knows, or you research yourself. You know, you're a professional. That other people are doing it and getting away with it does not make it right. One day they will come for you.
Welcome to the Breaking Coconut Show. Hi, Loretta.
Hi, morning.
Morning, good to meet you. So, interestingly, in this episode of the BTC show, we have you. So, we're going a different route. The idea is to have people listen to someone they could learn from, someone that understands what it takes to be an immigrant in the United Kingdom and everything they need to know. So let's get to meet you. Tell us more about yourself.
Okay. Hello, I'm Loretta Okwuashi.
Okay.
I'm a mother to start with, mother of two boys.
Amazing.
I moved to the UK in 2008 for my master's degree, and I've not left since then. I did a master's in international commercial law.
Amazing.
Qualified in Nigeria, barrister and solicitor in Nigeria. And I'm qualified here as well as a solicitor, which is that was quite fairly recent. About a year ago, I finally did my qualification here. Okay.
Someone introduced you as someone from that has two bars.
Yes, they say it's dual qualified.
Dual qualified.
Dual qualified. Yes, dual qualified in. Well, here, not the bar here, but a solicitor here, because here you have a barrister route and solicitor route. Okay. So right now, I'm in solicitor route for now, and I'll see how that goes. Okay,
perfect. So the idea is that, Loretta, you understand everything about the law. You understand, so what was your own journey moving from Nigeria to the UK? What has it been for you?
It's been interesting. Like I will always say to people, it changes your perspective on things if you've lived it. Because the way I would see things is not the way people that have lived there for a year or 2 years will see things. Because I've seen the evolution of a lot of things. I've seen the first conservative government in 2010, and you know, my journey as a student. And then after being a student, I worked as an operations manager for a housing charity. Okay. And that was where I did most of my work for 8 years before I moved on to the civil service. Okay. The journey is, when I came, I did everything to survive. I'm the last child in the family, so I really didn't have to, but okay. You know, when you're first independent on your own. I just finished NYSC before I moved here. Yeah, in Nigeria. So I came here. I remember my brother was in Scotland then, and he's like, "Oh, okay, you're here now, so you know, I had to look for a job." I came in 2008, and anybody who remembers 2008, the great financial crash, there was a big recession, and the jobs then for students was mostly retail work, and there was no retail work for students then because we had the Nigerian accent, and the English British people were also looking for jobs. So if you go there, I remember one interview I had, I didn't know how to count my pounds and pennies. My flatmate then was teaching me, my English flatmate was teaching me how to divide the pound into 50p. It's funny now, but then I had to early days. I had to learn the pound. I had to learn how to smile when I'm talking on the phone. Okay. You know, your voice changes if you smile when you're talking on the phone. I didn't know that. Okay. So I had to get a lot of tips. And I think the one thing that helped me through my journey was voluntary work. Okay. I was told you need to do some voluntary work, because that was the only way we could break out of the circle of manual work. Okay. So just do anything to introduce yourself to the society, especially if you came here as a dependent, or you didn't come here to work straight away, or if you didn't come here to study. Okay. You don't know how mannerisms, you don't know how to interact with people.
Yeah.
You don't know, jumping straight into the job market. It's good to get a job straight away, but I think the best piece of advice I ever got was do voluntary work.
Okay.
So I said voluntary, even from school. I was like a student ambassador. I'll put on my shirt, I'll go volunteer for the housing charity. I ended up working for 8 years for. They sponsored me to stay. And then, trust me, as of 2010, sponsorship was not a thing. So we had to set them up to actually sponsor someone. And that was how my journey started.
So how has it been? What this is 2025, 2024. What's work like for you, like, and for everyone that is coming in or that in quotes wants to has jackpot or it's beginning to understand what working in a different environment compared to everything they've known? Yeah.
For me, I'm used to the system now, so work is work. So after I did I worked for the homeless. I did everything for her. So the first thing I would say is, your skill set. I studied as a lawyer.
Okay.
So everything law, from contracts to, I could read a document and break it down. So that was my skill set. Okay. I could do research because I had done my master's degree. So I could do research on different things. So even as at then, I knew I couldn't get a job as a lawyer or as a solicitor. But I transferred my skill set to this, because it's funny. I went to the housing charity. I remember it was a voluntary role. I was a volunteer. And she said, so what can you do for us? I was like, I said, what do you need? And she started laughing. I was like, you've come for a job interview and you're saying, what do you need? I was like, you tell me what you need. And she's like, we need someone to keep our books. I was like, yeah, fine. I didn't know jack about bookkeeping, but because I'd gone to law school and they taught us solicitors' accounts, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do that. I can do that. Twice a week, I'll come and help you with your books.
Nice.
And then I walked out. I was like, oh, crap, what have I put myself in? And then I went to Amazon and I bought a bookkeeping for dummies. And then I started reading up and I started researching and I started doing things for her. So I started with just bookkeeping. And then one time someone she had an housing ombudsman issue. And I was like, that's not how you do it. I'm a lawyer. I was like, this is what you do. And I wrote out a very good defense for her. She was like, oh, I want you. So, and that was how my journey with them started. Okay. They had support workers, and my other job then was I was a support worker. Okay. And in that job, they trained me on the standards and all that. And she was just starting out. That's the housing charity. Okay. And I said to her, this is not how it's done. If the council sees you doing things like this, and then I brought in all the different policies and all. So the next thing I knew, she was like, can you come work full time? I was like, I'll think about it. So the point of my story is have transferable skills. Okay. Have transferable skills. I started working as an operations manager, which means everything and everything, because I could do the support work. I'd done my side job as a support worker, so I could do the support work. The legal side I could do because obviously I could look at things and know things. Okay. The contracting bit I could do because it's a contract. So I started writing tenders for her as a charity to win funds and stuff. Okay. So, just be flexible, have transferable skills. Look for an opportunity and exploit it. I have a friend who came to work she did a uni here. Okay. She did a master's degree, and afterwards she got her sponsorship for as a healthcare assistant for more of a support worker. Okay. And I said to her, because she was a friend from university, so I know she's a lawyer, I know she's got these skills, and I said to her, start looking in your company, start helping them out with paperwork. Okay. If it's the best you can do admin work, volunteer. Don't say, she's like, I'm not being paid for it. I'm like, it's not, if you're in the house, because it's a residential accommodation, tell them, I can do the rota. Okay. I can do this. This policy, I can write it,
Be the one that comes out first.
Yeah, they got into trouble with the thing. And who were they looking for to look at what they wanted? She was the one they called up to say, you're a lawyer. help us look at this, interpret it. If you don't know, you ask someone who knows, or you research yourself. You know, you're a professional. Don't lose your professionalism. Even if you're doing other work to survive.
Okay.
Look for that one thing you love doing. Like me, for me, it was always the law.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, I'm a bit passionate.
But that's a good thing.
Yeah, it was always the law. So even if it took me this long to do my solicitor's qualifying exam, but I've always been on the fringe of the law. I've always worked as either a legal support worker or, you know. So even when I was working for the charity, we were doing, one time we had this big case with the council, and I drafted all the documents. I did the defense, I did her claim, I was cross-examining people. I was like, ooh, check me out. So, but most times I was like, I couldn't appear as a lawyer for her, but I was appearing as an officer of the company.
Okay.
So, you know, you find your niche and you cling on to it. Okay. We all had to do, I won't tell you about the jobs I've done in this country.
No, but it helps.
My first job was a stadium steward in the football. You know those people that wear...
But that's nice. That's
I
nice.
hated that job.
No, you see all the football stars.
No, I hated that job. I used to swap with my colleagues. There was one time, I even watched Kanu play. That was when he was playing in Stoke, Britannia Stoke Stadium. And, and the guys, the Nigerian guys, they all... Do you want to swap? They put me on the ground. I was like, yes, please. And they said, Kanu is playing. I was like, oh, it would be nice to watch him play. True. I think then he was playing, was it Portsmouth he was playing for?
Okay, that should be Portsmouth.
Many years ago, that's when he was on almost retiring.
Yeah, I think that was one of his last clubs.
So that was, I did that for a few months. Okay. Then I did, I worked in NHS. I cleaned. I was a domestic assistant. Nice. So I remember when I got that job, I was still in uni then, and everyone was like, oh, you want to go and clean in the hospital? I was like, but it's a job, because there was no retail job. Yeah. And the opportunity came, and I took it. And from that, I got my next job. So I was doing like 3 jobs then, plus my voluntary work, so 4 jobs. So I'll wake up in the morning, go and I used to do newspaper delivery. Delivering newspapers at 5 a.m. in the morning. And then from there, go to my support work. On my way back, stop in NHS, because I was doing 3-hour shifts, 3 to 4 hour shifts in NHS. Do my NHS shifts. And then the next day, I'll probably have to go and do my voluntary work somewhere else. And my mom came to visit me one day and was like, this is too much.
The last child for crying out loud.
You're not hungry. Why are you doing all this? I was like, I was single. Yeah. I was young. Yeah. I had time to explore everything I could explore. Yeah. So I did, you know when you're hungry for something, you don't want anything to hold you back. Yeah, true. So don't limit yourself. That, and then whatever you're doing, there's always that's why I love this country. There's always a transferable skill. Okay. So from cleaning, they taught me a lot of things. I could get my support work. From the support work, I could run a homeless charity. Okay. Do you understand? So there are always skills when it comes to job. Don't limit yourself. Nothing is too small for you. Okay. There's dignity in labor.
Yeah, and the job is a job.
The job is a job. You put food on your table and it pays your bills.
So good. I think that's a good place to start. Now, for most people that have come from parts of the world where they are in quotes kings and queens, how do you adapt coming into a new place where money are not on trees, first things, and you've done something very well, and the culture shock? What do you advise anyone coming in, or one that is in the environment that really you think they need heads up from someone like you? Yeah,
I would say lower your standards. I know everybody hears that. Lower your standards. Okay. And flexibility. You have to be you have to be adaptable. Okay. To change. Okay. Actually, it's actually a competency in civil service. How do you deal with change? Okay. You have to be adaptable, and when I say lower your standards, I don't say forget who you are and what you bring to the table. Okay. but lower your standards just to get on the. So like I would say to lawyers now that are coming in, while you're sorting out your qualifications, there are admin jobs you can get that will prepare you for when you do get your qualifications.
Okay.
There are paralegal roles. Okay. There are legal support roles. Even paralegal roles are hard for lawyers that are qualified in Nigeria, believe you me. Oh. But there are normal admin roles in a legal setting that will set you up. So when you start climbing the ladder. So I joined the civil service as an admin officer. That's the lowest you can get. Well, the second to the lowest. Okay. So you've got the administrative assistants, and then you have an admin officer, and that's where I started. Never mind, I had a master's degree, and I'd been here for over 10 years when I got that role.
Nice.
So do you understand me?
Yeah.
I could have gone for the top bit.
Yeah.
I'd run a charity, for crying out loud. So when people saw me starting with, we call it an AO role, and they're like, even my colleagues were like, get out of here. You're way qualified. I was like, I know, but this was a job I saw. I've applied for it. I've gotten it. The best you can do is be the best in any situation you find yourself. Even if you're a carer, do your best. That's my mantra. Even when I'm cleaning, everybody knew that. Oh, when I was a domestic assistant, I was always on time, always did my job properly, didn't complain. You know how people say, "Oh, disabled people, I can't volunteer, I can't do this, I can't do that." But you found yourself, you're in that situation. They didn't beg you to come. You came. So you might as well be the best in whatever you do. Whatever you've picked up to say, okay, this is going to put food on my table. Why are you slacking at that job?
That's the question.
Do you understand? Yeah. So that's part of change management as well. Okay. If you found yourself in a situation, you've looked for, I'm not saying don't look for the big jobs. People do it. I know people that have come here and they've gotten professional jobs straight off the bat. But while you're doing that, you have to feed your family, especially if you've come with family.
True.
You have to feed your family. So you put in your best because you don't know who's watching.
True. I think that's more important.
You don't know who's watching. You don't know what skills you're getting.
Yeah.
They say integrity is doing the right thing when you think nobody's watching.
True.
So you do your best and be good at what you do, whatever you've decided to do.
Now, you talked about volunteering. Now, in this part of the world where, especially most people that are coming to, I've always believed that the easiest way to get things done is coming as a volunteer. Now, but you re-emphasizing it is like it's me saying this is it. It always works. So how do you think it works in a country like this? And how do you think for anyone that is starting out, how do they find their feet volunteering? Remembering that volunteering is showing your skill set, not expecting the money, but it's like at the end of the day, it's work.
Yes. So the thing with voluntary work is, I think that was the best advice I got when I came. Volunteer. I volunteered. I was a student ambassador in school. Okay. Everything, even at work, when they say, "Oh, we're looking for volunteers," so me, pick me, because you never know what will open up.
Yeah, that's true.
You never know. So, I volunteered as a student ambassador in school. That helped me with my communication skills, because that's very important here.
Yeah.
I'm not saying go and be speaking. No, that's not the thing. You need to know how to talk.
Yeah, true.
You need to know how to, you need to know their mannerisms.
Yeah.
You need to know their little jokes they tell.
Yes, because those little jokes are like you might be lost.
Do you understand? To communicate, to get people to warm up to you.
Yeah.
You need to understand the system. And if you limit yourself, I'm not saying being with Nigerians is a bad thing, but if you limit yourself, you can't open up. Your mindset can't open up. When I came, there was no, we didn't have much of, WhatsApp. There was no WhatsApp. What am I saying? There was no BBM. Most people used to communicate by Yahoo chat, and Facebook was just starting.
Yes.
Then.
Yes.
So I lost a lot of friends back home, and the people that came with me, that was when they stopped post-study work. After, I think my set was the last before they froze it. They've opened it back again. So I lost a lot of contacts. So my life then was work, come home, hustle. I had Nigerian housemates, and but I knew I didn't want to be cleaning NHS toilets for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. How do I do it? So then, back in the day, I went to, there was a Change? There was a voluntary work website, Just Do It or something, that they used to advertise in school.
Okay.
I went on there. I saw the housing charity I worked for. I was like, okay, it's an office setting. Let me start from there. I remember I was living in Selly Oak then, very near University of Edgbaston. And I got on the 11 bus. And they said it was in Handsworth. I was like, okay, Handsworth. I said, now, wow. This kind of place, this UK. We were coming. And then Handsworth then was Handsworth. It was a crazy place to be in.
Okay.
So the bus was going. I was like, When I finally found the place, I was like, I was expecting when you hear charity, a fancy place. And madam, but it wasn't all that. And I was like, we are where we are. So how do I fix it? By then, my expectations were buried on the floor. I walked into the office. First of all, it was a housing agency, and I was, wow, okay. And then my boss then came out. I was like, okay, free. They don't stress themselves in this country. Nobody wants to, not the way suited and booted and very chatty, I was like, okay, yeah, what can you do for me? I was like, let me define work on anything you want. Sure. I was like, what do you need? That was what I asked her. What do you need? And she said bookkeeping. I was like, oh God, me and numbers. Anybody who knows lawyers will know that numbers are not our thing.
Because lawyers run away from numbers.
Oh, we hate numbers. So she said bookkeeping for now. I was like, okay. I can do that. I remember I did solicitor's account in Nigerian law school. Yeah. I'll go and dig out my books. Because that's what I do. Anytime I find something I'll go and research. As I was leaving our office that day, I quickly went on Amazon and looked for bookkeeping for dummies. And I ordered it. I was like, before the next week I'm coming here, I better know how to do this thing. If not, I'm done for.
No, and you were always looking for your own.
And that's how you start to. I'm not saying bite more than you can chew, but I'm saying, try your hands at different things.
Okay. Try
your hands. Voluntary work has worked for me. Anybody who's come to this country, I've always said, you have all this, charity shops.
Yeah.
Go and help out once a week. Nice. A few hours here and there.
Nice.
Back in the day, legal advice bureau was big. I think they've closed their offices now.
Okay.
Go there. My husband trained there. He's not a lawyer. But when he came, I was like, he volunteered for British Heart. He was stacking shelves.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, So just to leave the house every day.
Yeah. Just
to learn the way things work. He volunteered for Legal Advice Bureau.
Okay.
And he said building his communication skills and adapt. That's how you adapt. Communication is very important.
Yeah.
It's the way we behave, and even if you want to have your own business.
Yeah.
I always say to people that want to have their own business, you need to know how the system works first.
Yeah.
If you've not worked for someone here, how would you know how to employ people?
And even how do you get the clients?
How do you get the clients?
I have the money.
How do you communicate? What do you do?
Yeah.
You don't know. So you know, and if nobody's giving you a paid job, one day a week, 2 days, I know it's hard. Anybody I say will be like, no, hustle. Money is important here. No, but you need to keep the eye on the goal. You need to, what's your end game?
Yeah.
What's your end game? Can I afford to volunteer? If I can do a few jobs here and there, even if it's in church, run a youth group. I ran a youth group. No, but it's true.
True.
I ran a youth group. So even if it's in church, I can only speak from a lawyer's perspective.
Yeah.
What can you do? Oh, they are fundraising. I can write a few letters here and there. I can draft this. I can do that. What can you do
for them?
For them, you don't want to be stuck in the rut of
not inaction.
Do you understand? Your brain needs to. So, but if you're happy, I'm not saying being a healthcare assistant or whatever is a bad thing. If you're happy doing that, like I said, there's dignity in labor. Yeah. There are people who have come and said, you know what, Loretta, I was so stressed practicing in Nigeria. I like the fact that I can wake up, go to work, I don't have to think about it.
Good for me.
Perfect. But if it's not working for you, if you know you want to move into something else, then start looking for those opportunities.
Okay.
How you can use your transferable skills to get there. People that are into IT, what did they do? Coding. People, how do you're thinking, how am I going to use my IT skills? There will always be an opportunity somewhere, somehow. And that's how you get yourself out there. Sure.
So now you understand what the law is. You understand what are those things that you think most immigrants, especially from the part of the world,
driving. Guys, please get your license before you get into a car.
So you see, for instance, in Lagos, Lagos is the first place you go to where you want to drive like a mad person.
Do your test. Get your license. Don't drive. No, seriously, it's so bad, and you don't want a criminal conviction because it limits you.
Very true.
Once you see that DBS you do, once you have a criminal conviction, it limits you.
So driving could also create that problem.
Yes. Drunk driving. Drunk driving. And you see our people, they are drunk driving with no license.
And that's like double.
That's double wahala. I know. I say this because I see it happening. So yeah, driving. Well, keep your nose clean.
Okay.
Keep your nose clean. That's the first thing. Whatever you're doing, even if it's in business, know the legal regulations around taxation. There are accountants that will do this for you.
Okay.
If you're earning above, it's a quick search on .gov.uk and it will tell you what you need.
Okay.
If you need to register, how much tax you need to pay. When you're earning above a certain limit, then you have to file your annual returns. Okay. If you do things properly, our people too like backdoor. You don't want to get into trouble. No, because many people will do it and get away with it.
Yeah.
But at what cost if you're caught? That's what you need to think about.
True.
That's what you need to think about. So for taxation, I think you need to be, and I can't remember the exact figure, but if you're earning above a certain amount, then you have to declare it. You need to do your annual returns. Okay. If you want to register a business, you need to do all that just to keep yourself covered. Find the regulations around your business, especially people that cook. There are a lot of people that do catering and all that.
Yeah.
What the food standards, you need to be sure about that. You need to make sure you've got all the necessary paperwork so that when they come for you, you're like, no, I've done this properly. You understand? So whatever field you want to go into. So because I can't advise on any specific field. Because there's so many. I'm using cooking because I know people cook and all that. I know driving because we get into trouble a lot with driving, us Africans. I know you people think, I'll drink one Gouda in Nigeria, 1 or 2 bottles, and I can drive and nobody will harass me.
So because it's like nobody, as in, those are things that you could get away with.
Yes. But those things put criminal convictions on you, and that's what you don't want. You don't want to get into trouble with your business if you've built it so high up. And then suddenly one day you're in trouble with it. So whatever business you're thinking of, think about what are the regulations covering this business. That's why I always say opening a business is one thing. Knowing how to run it properly is another thing. You need to do your research. You need to know, what is the regulatory environment on this business? That other people are doing it and getting away with it does not make it right. One day they will come for you.
Perfect. So now, interesting. So let's look at family. What's your own advice to people that So when you started, you introduced yourself as a mother
I'm a wife.
and a wife.
Yeah.
So definitely you figured out to an extent what it is for you to come in here with family, have responsibilities, and what you've seen. Because the good thing about your position now is that you looking at the legal implications of you. What's your own story about families, and how do you think people coming in with those interesting mindset should be prepared?
Okay. I know my own is a bit different because when I came, I didn't come in with my family. I started my family after a few years here. I've been married for 9 years now, almost 9 years, 2015. I'm lucky, I have to say that, because my husband allows me to be me. We're partners.
Perfect.
If you're here with your family, I know in Nigeria, my husband is still the head of the home. I believe in all that. I'm not a people say I'm a feminist because I'm a lawyer. I'm not a feminist. I have to say that. Yeah. But you have to be partners.
Yeah, for it to work.
It's like a relay race. You pass the baton. I'll tell you a story. When we had our first child, he's 7 now. You know how expensive nursery fees can be here. Yeah. We had no one. So we both worked in the same office building, civil service. So I worked in the morning, 7 to 3 p.m., 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And he worked what they call twilight shifts. So he worked, I think, 4 to 10. Okay. So what used to happen is he will bring my little boy to the front of the office, and then I'll take him back home while he goes into the office. So it's little things like that. He's more, the normal memes that they'll be like when mommy leaves the children with daddy at home. In my house, it's the other way around. It's when daddy leaves the child with mommy at home, because the boys run circles around me. But with him, he's so on point with a lot of things. Okay. It's a partnership thing. Yeah. If it's a case of only one person can work and one person is at home to be with the children, then you guys have to work as a partner. It's not a case of one person being above the other or the other person, that's how it works. And it will get better as the children grow. That's the thing. You just need to look at the end game, the end plan. Yeah. It does get better. My last one started reception on Friday, and we literally threw a party.
That's freedom for a while.
Freedom, because he was in nursery and he was only 3 days a week. So he had to be home Monday and Friday, whilst luckily he could work from home. But I have to go to court, so I was hardly at home. Okay. So he's at home with him Mondays and Fridays, and he's like, oh my God. And then he's still doing his night. He still does his side hustle because he does NHS as well in the night. So it's a case of try. And then because of all that, I have to have my weekends free to give him some relief. Yeah. I told you that if I'm coming out, I have to be home at a certain time. So those are the things you need to. It's not me. It's not him lording it over me or me lording it over him. You have to be sensitive to your partner's needs as well. You have to understand that both of you are in a country that is not your own. Yeah, first. So you have to take up the responsibility. Like I always say, I've said it before, even at work, even at home, you pick up something and you do it well. Yes. If you're providing, provide well. If you're cooking, cook well. If not only food you sabi, do them well. Do you understand? No half-ass. No, I don't like doing things halfway. Yeah. There are few things I do, but you pick up one thing and say, okay, I hate cleaning. I know I'm a woman. I shouldn't say that out loud. But if I want to cook, I will cook. Very well. Do you understand? And my husband will enjoy. He will wait for me. It doesn't matter when I'm finishing work. Yeah. I'll still go home and make dinner. Even if he's been the one at home, even if he's at home, because I know he enjoys that. I know that's the best I can do for my family. Yeah. I'm in that position to say, you know what, you guys will have a good dinner. I've not been at home, but you guys will have a good dinner every day. I'll make sure of that. Unless I'm on the rare occasion that I'm delayed or whatever, then of course he knows that that's an exception. Okay. Make it an exception. If you're good at cleaning, Do you understand? Find that one thing and hang on to it.
Right.
Providing, your women, your partner. You know, I see people saying, "No, she doesn't contribute," and I'm like, in this day and age, and I see they
have this conversation.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Pick up the bills. If you're working, pick up bills. If it's what, you know, try and balance things out. It doesn't have to be equal.
That's another one.
It doesn't have to be equal because your position is different from the other person. What you can do might be more than what the other person can do.
But time, yeah.
You understand? It doesn't have to be equal, but that's my limited. 9 years is not much, and you'd have to ask my husband if he's working. But I'm still in the marriage, so I'm hoping he's working.
Your husband dropped you.
He's not.
He's working.
He's my chauffeur.
He's working. Okay. So so the final one. So what's your so because I know most people will come after you to come and hear from listen and get feedback from you. So what's that one thing you think? Thank you for everything you've shared. Now for most immigrants that are in the UK now, what's that one thing you think they should that if you could talk to your brothers and sisters and tell them, come, see guys, let's do this thing right, from your experience that you think would help them thrive in business, thrive in families, that'll make you proud whenever you see them, like that you think that they need to know the blind spots you think or some things you think most people are not even aware of. What if they knew this that they could do better from your own point of view?
That's a hard question. I'm not sure. I think the best thing that would work for everyone is do you.
Okay.
Be yourself.
Okay.
If you're a natural born manager,
yeah,
manage any situation.
Okay.
If you're if you're a follower, follow well. Integrity. I think that's the thing lacking in our community. Yeah. We're so used to backdoor. No, we're so used to backdoor. We would be the ones that would drive without a license. We would drive drunk. We would be the loudest in the room. There's this debate that was going on in YouTube about bringing your own food to the office. We'll be the ones that will stink out the office. We'll be the ones who just don't be a nuisance. Right. It's not hiding who you are.
Yeah. It's
just generally being a good person. No, that's how I see it. Somebody will be like, that's how we talk. We're loud. We eat beans and fish in the office because that's who we are.
They don't tell you those things. Yeah.
That's who you are. No, really. Who told you?
True.
Just be considerate.
Yeah.
These people are not used to it.
True.
Even in Nigeria, if you do it, somebody will tell you that your food stinks.
True.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Even in Nigeria, if you shout too much, you won't go to your office and start chatting in a language that maybe if you're Yoruba and you're in the East, let me say if you're Igbo and you're somewhere else, you won't go there and start talking in a language they don't understand. You're here, speak English.
Yeah.
You can do it. You can speak English. So why are you not doing it? Why are you being stubborn for no reason? I think that's what annoys me. And people will say, I'm a sellout. No, you're in a society. You go by the rules. Even the Bible says when you're in Rome, you be
like Romans.
Do you understand? That's why things work here.
Yeah.
You've left your country because it doesn't work. So to me, it's integrity. Do the right thing, even when you think nobody's watching.
Yeah.
You throw something on the floor, pick it up.
Yeah.
It works.
True.
It works. No, it's true. That's my
ideology, which is how it's meant to be. Which is how
I'm not saying don't be brave and do. Sometimes you have to stand up for yourself. I'm not saying be a mouse, but do it with conscience.
With conscience?
Yeah, conscience.
Okay, that's fair. So how do we get to reach you? Because at the end of the day, people might want to reach you to ask you for questions and feedback. How do we find you? What's the best place to find you?
I'm on, I think I'm on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Loretta Okwuashi.
Okay, perfect.
I think I'm on Facebook as well.
Okay.
And Instagram.
Okay.
And that's the best I will do. I'm not joining any other of those social networking sites. But yeah, well, yeah, I'm on LinkedIn and I'm happy to advise. I know a lot of lawyers wanting to qualify. So I do help out with advice on how to do that through the solicitor's qualifying exams. I can also help with, pointing you in the right direction to legal jobs and that you can, legal support roles that you don't necessarily have to have a full legal qualification to do. Providing, of course, you have the right work permit, because unfortunately they don't really have lots of sponsorship jobs in the legal field. But I can also advise on voluntary work that would help, develop yourself as a lawyer. So you can reach out on LinkedIn. If you just put my name in LinkedIn, I'm sure, and drop me a message. I can be very busy, but bear with me. It will take a while, but we'll get there. I would answer. Because of course, it was someone who helped me when I was wondering how to do the SQE and what to do and stuff like that. So, and it was a Nigerian. I just saw her name on LinkedIn. I was like, oh yeah, she's registered. How do I go about I've done the exams, I've passed. How do I go about getting my certificate of good standing and stuff like that? And she's pointed me in the right direction. So, it's pay it forward. I'm happy to do that. If you've not written the exams, if you need guidance on what to do and all that, is, I'm happy to talk you through it and general inquiries. I can't really offer legal advice.
No, you've done enough with this.
But, I'm happy to, if you have an issue, I'm happy to point you in the right direction. Yes, but
so we've heard from her. So don't worry, no free legal advice, but she can always help. So Loretta, there's something we always do. We always give our guests.
Oh, nice.
So this is like a coconut. So yes. I'll leave you to do whatever you want to do with it. The name of the show is the Breaking the Coconut Show. The idea is that we all have our own coconuts. The idea is that our ability to break it, eat it, makes us better. So I always ask one very funny question. In the UK, do you think you've finally broken your coconut?
No. No, I think every day is learning. Like I've said earlier on, I've recently qualified. I've started my journey all over again. Because if I was to stay if I was going to be an admin manager, I probably would have gone to the highest. But because I'm really passionate about the law, I've started all over again. So there's always a coconut to break.
Nice.
And that's life, isn't it? You find a coconut and you break it, you pick another one and you break it. So I'm still learning. Things change. I'm still learning. There's always a lesson in every situation. True. And in any position I find myself. So I've picked up another coconut that I'm still breaking. So I'm hoping, yes. So
Thank you for your time. I know I have to let you go so that you take care of the kids, but it was great for sharing this short time, and hopefully you will get to hear from people what this. Trust me, I think this session with you has also taught me something. It's good to hear from people that experienced that have experienced everything in the land. It helps you understand that your thoughts of doing the right thing is valid. And for someone like you that represents the Nigerian flag well, wherever you see yourself, it's like, for me, I see it as a good rep for the green, white, green, wherever you go. So when I heard you say your master's, the funny thing is we keep talking about brain circulation. Now, the idea is that when people go out to study, people classify them as brain drain. And I'm like, it's brain circulation, because what finally happened was that they went to go get new knowledge, and they use that new knowledge to help the society. And the world is a global village, and it's circulation because it's no more, it doesn't have to remain where we are. So you're a good example of using your knowledge to make impact. So well done.
Thank you. That's an interesting perspective. Thank you.
Thank you, Loretta.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting conversation.
Gracias.
Thank you.